Today we're going to be having a look at the TWS i11 True Wireless headset. You can find this headset from as little as 130 rands online. That's less than $10. But is it any good? Let's find out. Hi everybody, my name is Nikki, and on this channel I do all kinds of tech related content. So if you would like to see more of that, please hit the subscribe button and do remember to enable bell notification by clicking on the little bell down below as well. So now let's get to this headset and find out whether it's any good. Okay, so first of all, let's have a look at the packaging. So the packaging, as with most Chinese products like this, is quite cheap, but it's also pretty much a straight knockoff of the design of the Apple Airpods packaging. Everything from the image on the front to the one on the back, and otherwise it's a very minimalistic packaging. Nothing much to see on the outside. So yeah, then now let's get inside and find out if there's anything interesting inside. So it just slides open like this, very similar to the AirPods. And then in here, first thing you find is the charging case with the little AirPod 8-zip thingies in it. But let's put that aside first and have a look at what else is inside of this packaging. So just some very cheap plastic packaging, and then we find what is quite interesting, very short USB cable. Like, it's very short. But the interesting part about this is that it's not just a normal micro USB like most cheap Chinese products like this have. It's actually a lightning connector on it, which could be a good thing or a bad thing depending on what kind of phone you have. Because if you are an Android user and you're using probably the micro B already, or maybe Type C even, this connector is gonna be a pain in the ass for you, because you're gonna have an extra charger now, especially just for your headset. So yeah, that's something to keep in mind when you're considering whether you want to buy these. Actually, this could be a deal breaker for some people, but so just so you know, that's that thing. So further, there's just a little pamphlet manual in here. Very simplistic, nothing too fancy. It's got Chinese instructions on the one side and then English instructions on the other side. There's just some basic instructions on what is this. Yes, this basically just tells you how to set them up, and it also explains the gesture controls of the headset. So yeah, this could be important to you perhaps, I don't know, maybe for the gesture controls. Even the setup is a little complex, so, well, I wouldn't call it complex, it's unconventional maybe. So yeah, okay, now let's have a look at the little AirPods themselves. I keep calling them AirPods. These aren't AirPods, they're just a headset. So yeah, shouldn't be calling them AirPods. Now, the case itself, well, looks very similar to Apple AirPods case. Charging at the bottom. There's a difference on the back here. It has a little button. This button is used for pairing them with your phone. Pairing the case with your phone, because you pair the case with your phone and then the little earbuds, they pair up with the case. So yeah. Otherwise, it's got a nice metal look-like hinge on the back, which is actually plastic. That's just painted plastic, that's not metal, so yeah, that's cheap. but what can you expect for 130 rands? So let's open them up and see. Oh yeah, this is something I really like about them. Look at that hinge. The clips close really nice. It's kind of satisfying clip that it's got to it. It doesn't really have a clip, it's got a magnet that keeps it. So yeah, that's kind of cool, I like it. It feels nice. It's got a very loose top and then snaps closed. Real nice. Now that's not the most important thing. The most important thing is how well they actually work. So let's find out. So here we go. So you open them up and then you have to press the button, and then you can find them on your phone. The case, you will find it. It will pair up. Then you'll see the little headphones, they are lit up now, and when you remove them from the case, they automatically pair up with you. So basically just put these inside of your ears like this, and now you will hear it tells you it's connected to the case, the headset, and then you just have the case connected to your phone. So once you've got all of that done, then you can even follow the manual if you're not sure exactly how to do all of that. Then you can start listening to some music. Now, interesting thing I found out about them is, first of all, their sound isn't terrible at all. They actually sound pretty good for their price. I mean, considering other headsets I've bought before for similar prices that weren't even wireless, these have a pretty good sound. The only thing that could really be a letdown for some people, and even is kind of for me, is the fact that they don't really have much bass. They're very tinny, the sound. Really a lot of treble, but not a lot of bass. No low frequencies coming through them. I know this was supposedly a problem with the original Airpods as well, kind of, but I'm sure it wasn't this bad. I've never tested real AirPods though. I have tested a lot of other headsets, mostly more expensive ones, and for the price these are really not that bad. So in that term, if the bass isn't too important to you, I would suggest going ahead and buying them. Now, another factor that might affect whether you want to buy them is the battery life. Now, the little manual says you can get 2 to 3 hours of playback out of them, though I've had varying results there depending on the type of music and the volume. So yeah, your mileage might also vary there. But the other thing that's kind of nice about them and not so good as well is the fact that they do have gesture controls, touch control on them. Not gesture, touch on each headphone. It's headphone. So you can play and pause your music, turn up the volume, skip, and do all of those things with some basic gestures, which you can find inside of the manual. It's very similar to the Apple Airpods gesture. So yeah, that's kind of interesting. And then the little charging case. Yeah, that's kind of nice. So in the end, I think these headphones are pretty good for the money, but they're definitely not the best. You should be expecting to get basically your money's worth out of these, and not too much either. The lightning connector is kind of something you have to take into consideration when you're buying it. These do not have a wireless charging case like the AirPods 2. They're basically like the AirPods 1 with a normal cable charging case just. So you'll have to have a USB available for the short little cable. I mean, if you've already got an iPhone, this might not be that big of a problem to you because you'll already have a longer lightning cable to charge it with. But otherwise, these are pretty good headphones. It's not terrible at all. The hands-free works pretty okay. If you want to just use it for calling, that's pretty good. And I guess I could recommend these as a cheap alternative to Apple AirPods, or even as just plain cheap headphones. Now the durability, I'm not so sure on that yet, so that we'll have to see, and maybe I will report back in a couple of months or so after I've used them a little bit, so that I can test them out and see how long the battery lasts and everything else about them. But at that price, you can almost buy a new one every month if they just last you 1 month. So I guess that's also a thing. So I'd like to thank you guys for watching this video, and please do remember to subscribe to the channel and hit the little bell icon so that you can get notified of future uploads.